by Jason McCourty, joined by Vince Goodwin. We were out all night with Team USA in Miami. We made it back for New York City.
11?
We've been at Club 11. We are on one. And we are joined today by Dominique Foxworth and Monica McNutt. You know what I'm talking about, Monica. Let's start with the game of the night. The red-hot Spurs visiting the best team in the East, the Detroit Pistons. Could this be a finals preview? We will see. Let's start off with Cade Cunningham and Victor Wembanyama, 19. And if you think the Spurs are too young to win a title or overcome OKC, it might be time to reconsider your position. This season, San Antonio is an NBA best 9-2 against the top 6 teams in the NBA. They are undefeated against the Pistons, Celtics, and Knicks out of the East, and they're 4-1 against the Thunder. We bring Monica McNutt in. We've got Vince here at the table. Monica, what did Wemby and the Spurs prove in last night's Monday night win versus the Pistons?
That the Pistons' lack of a second guy and inconsistent shooting at best could be a problem by the time you get to the postseason. In particular, if you do not have enough floor spacing to move a guy, not even per se as dominant as Victor Wembanyama, but someone who has the ability to protect the rim. If you cannot move a big, the Pistons really struggle. I would also add, when Cade Cunningham got into foul trouble, I mean, he was held to 5 of 26, which is a season low for a guy in a Pistons uniform that takes at least 25 shots. That offense really, really stifled. And I understand some of the lineup changes in terms of trying to get your all-defensive unit out there, but it was just too much firepower on the other end for the Spurs in this one.
Vince, I look at it, when you take it from a Spurs standpoint, what's your take?
I think, Peter, this team is getting ready to make a playoff run. I think we like to say, you're too young. I'm a person that says you got to go through the fire, you got to get your heart broken. But even though the Spurs are ahead of schedule, they have a defense and they have some opportunistic scoring. When you look at so many guys, Peter, that can take it off the dribble, get downhill, which frees things up for Big Slim, that becomes
Big Slim,
playoff.
I like that.
That's Big Slim, because he's not a big man, but he's kind of slim, and he's Jason Voorhees all in one. Like, it's freaky. And so for me, I'm changing my mind on what I think their ceiling is when you have Castle, when you have Fox, when you have Vassell. Just enough scoring, just enough shooting, all the defense, that means a problem.
I want you to see this, because every year there's the rodeo in San Antonio, and the Spurs have to go on this road trip. They're in the midst of their annual rodeo trip right now, and their last 5 games have been played away from home, and they are 5-0 in those games. And they're winning by an average of 19 points per game. And their next 4 games are on the road. That includes games against the Knicks on Sunday and the Sixers. Vince, the Spurs have done this all without the comfort of their bed, without the comfort of their home crowd. What does that tell you about the stretch run and maybe what they can do in May and June?
I am fascinated because usually during these things, like whether it's the Grammy trip for the Lakers or the circus trip for the Celtics, you find out what your team is made of. And usually it's the veteran teams, the middle of the winter, the dog days of the season. Those are the teams that really band together. This team is young, and they are playing with a veteran-like poise. That bodes well for when you have to go on the road. Even if they'll have home court advantage, they're going to have home court advantage, at least probably in the first and second round. They're not afraid to walk into Oklahoma City. They're not afraid to walk into Houston. They're not afraid to go into Denver and play big boy playoff basketball. They are opening some eyes around the league. They're not just a year away. They're a force to be reckoned with right now.
Monica, we're so accustomed to being like, all right, in the NBA, you knock on the door, you lose in the first round, and the next year you lose in the second round, then you finally get to the Eastern Conference Finals or the Western Conference Finals, and maybe you get over the hump. Could this Spurs team, so young, almost like an overnight sensation, could they actually make a run this season?
They definitely could. Now, I will admit, though, Schrager, I still tend to lean to the way you teed that up, in that they haven't sniffed the playoffs at all yet, y'all. And listen, experience wide deep. De'Aaron Fox has been in the playoffs, but not necessarily deep. And not to mention, this will be a first year for Mitch Johnson. Now, if there was a formula for a team to buck trend, the main ingredient would be Victor Wembanyama. So I am not ruling it out, but I should say this, I am very curious to see what a series will look like with this young group.
Vince, I want to bring it back to the Pistons because we were celebrating them last week. You were on the show. They absolutely blew out the Knicks in the Garden. We were talking Cade Cunningham MVP. Pistons are the team to beat in the East. Was last night concerning, or is this just one of those, hey, sometimes you lose a game against a good team?
Yes, it's both. I think if you had concerns about Detroit going into this, despite their record, you said they don't have primary scoring outside of Cade Cunningham. and they're a below average shooting team. Not a bad shooting team, but a below average shooting team. And when you shoot 19% from three because Cade Cunningham's being loaded up on and he has foul trouble, that looks like playoff defense. That looks like what you're going to see in the postseason. And one thing that I was concerned about going into the trade deadline was Detroit going to acquire another secondary scorer. They did not. So that signaled to me that they're not sure that they're ready to make a finals run despite their record. They want to see what their young players are doing. They still want to grow this organically. The problem is we see how good they can be. We see Cade Cunningham being an MVP candidate. People want to see this team fully formed right now.
They were at home. They had the opportunity to make a statement. They lost. We're going to get plenty more basketball talk in the show, but our next stop is in Philadelphia, and we're going to football, where Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni had a gaggle of reporters at the Combine in front of him, and he told Tim McManus from ESPN that there's interest between A.J. Brown